It is 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance. New Chief, can you lead us off on the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the absence of the chair, I being the oldest serving on the board, I will make a motion to have Patty Lumby run the meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. So ordered.
Thank you, and I accept that nomination.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you.
Okay, agenda item number 2, approve the agenda for the meeting. Is there any revisions? Okay, agenda number 3, approve the minutes of the 8/28/24, 9/11 town board meeting. Like to have a motion for that?
I will so move.
Thank you, Bill. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jason, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Agenda item number, oops, 4. Public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with the public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Note, the board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during the public comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comments will be allowed from the public on that issue. Is there any public comment? Please state your name for the record.
Jan Peranto, 3021 69th Street South, Town Elections Deputy Clerk here. Just an update on the elections right now. This is big, okay, if you didn't know that already. 831 ballots have already been sent to our residents here. I'm expecting that by the end of early in-person voting that we will have over 1,500 absentee ballots in-house. I'm telling you this because this is the largest election that this building will ever hold. When you walked in tonight, you might have seen a new piece of furniture in this corner. That's my desk, but it's temporary because it's on rollers. We have to move it wherever there is space in a day. Taking you through a day here at the municipal building, especially during election season, means that there could be a police officer who needs to conduct an interview. Where do they do that in this building? Probably right here. That means I need to vacate my desk for their privacy. Where do I go? Answer that question for me. It would be $1 million question. Secondly, we have a garage out there that we need to conduct part of these elections as people arrive. It will not house the thousands of people that will come through here on November 5th. There will be people standing outside waiting in line. We've done our best and thought in every possible way, aside from researching in-home design programs, how to get people through here quickly, but efficiently and without any incident. I'm concerned. And I'm telling you this because there are so many things wrong with the lack of space here. This is big. You can say, oh yeah, November 5th will come and go. But it doesn't come and go for the people of this building who work here every single day. It is a concern that lies with all of us here. Our residents who need to help us out in looking to the future, and with the school board, with the board here, to help us to look at ways that we can improve the face of Town of Grand Rapids as well as the working space. You have great workers here, excellent workers, top notch. Please give back to them and to these residents so that we can conduct business like we should be able to. Thank you.
Is there any other further public comment?
Douglas Keesling, 5410 Whitrock Avenue. What I have to say is nowhere near as important as what she just said. I totally support you in that effort and appreciate the work that you put in. Thank you. I have one comment. About 3 months ago, 4 months ago, someone brought up that they'd like to talk about the agenda items when the agenda items come up. And I commend the board because you changed the process and asked, but I'd like to remind you for every item that comes up, then ask if there's public comment before, because that's been kind of left out and leaves people standing. The other is just a casual question. Why does the siren go off at different times every Wednesday? Why can't it be at a consistent time? Because this week it was 1:32, last week it was 1:53, the week before it was 1:43. And I'm curious why it doesn't go off at noon. Because the first time when we moved here, that siren went off at like 1:42. It was a very cloudy day out, and it's like, oh my God, there's a tornado coming. And at very low the time, so I'm just curious why that isn't consistent.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
The Wood County, all of Wood County, every single fire department, EMS, they do what's called a fan-out test, and that's run by dispatch. The different times have to do with like how busy they may or may not be. If police or fire or EMS or whoever is on a call or something, typically they won't interrupt either. But that's really up to dispatch to start that.
Okay,
So.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
It's done by the county.
Okay.
Thank you for that explanation.
No problem.
Is there any other further public comment? Okay, with that being said, we'll go to agenda item number 5, the monthly reports from the departments. Police Chief Hyatt.
Chief Hyatt was excused
Or
by the chair.
Fire chief, I'm
He's
sorry.
at training.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, so, and so the report is here, would someone like to report or just include it?
It's just included and everybody had
Okay.
it ahead of time.
All right, and then also the safety department, he has 0 injuries to report on that. Okay, now it's Police Chief Zerflo with his report.
Appreciate it. For September 2024, the PD handled 440 calls for service. That's compared to 418 calls for September 2023. It's a 5.25% increase in call volume. Through the third quarter this year, we've handled 3,932 calls compared to 3,810 for the same period last year, which is a 3.2% increase. For September, it says 2023, that's a mistype. For this year, we've issued 66 traffic citations, 12 ordinance citations, and 26 written warnings for September. I started as police chief on September 2nd. Grand Rapids has already proven to be a really good place to work. Department personnel and town staff have been very helpful in assisting me with my transition into this role. I want to thank the PFC and the town board again for placing this trust in me. On September 26th, Grand Rapids PD and Port Edwards PD hosted the North Central Chiefs of Police Association at Bullseye Golf Club. Kurt Hoyer was the guest speaker there, former sheriff and Wisconsin Rapids police chief. Kurt continues to be very involved in law enforcement in the area. Currently, he's the director for the jail and law enforcement academies at Mid-State Technical College. September also included preparations for next year's budget process, and that's all I have to report.
Okay, is there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, Public Works lead Mike Smith.
Good evening, everybody. For the month of September, we finished up most of our road ditching for the road mowing for the second time. Did some pothole patching, washed multiple windows around municipal building, fire station. Also took the time to wash garage doors, in the municipal building, fire station. We removed some stumps that were left in the right-of-way out on 76th Street, and re-ditched a ditch that trees were taken under power lines. We replaced a bunch of stolen signs we had, fixed some broken windows, and that's about it for the month of September. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Treasurer Jewel Nineman.
All right, for the month of September, our working checking account had an ending balance of $105,887.40. The repo that goes with it had a balance of $148,436.24. Our money market at Prevail had a balance of $341,867.87. Our tax account has a balance of $691.87. And the repo account to go with that had a balance of $3,922.71. We had outstanding checks of $24,779.88, and our ARPA account is, with interest, $194,481.65, and I am happy to report that all we have left is interest. Yay!
Yay.
Very exciting.
It is. One less thing to figure out.
So is there any other questions in regards to this report? Okay, thank you. Would you like to
Oh, yes.
tell us a little bit about this?
Chief Pyatt had just dropped this off once he knew he was going to make it. I gave the board members one. He's going to do, the fire department's going to host their Brat Fry again. They did that at the April election, and it was quite a hit. So on November 5th, election day, they'll have it over across the street. Try to park, way over there, not over here, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can eat there or carry out. And then they'll have an open house from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can meet the members, tour the station, check out the trucks, equipment. You can pre-order, order in bulk. So come have some food and support the fire department after you vote, one or the other.
Yeah, both.
Both, yes.
Yeah,
Do
Do both. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Agenda item number 6, consideration and possible action on resolution 2024-18 authorizing substitution for a treasurer's bond. This is a resolution that we do every year, and this is just to confirm that we are giving authorization for the substitution of the treasurer bond. Is there any other further questions? Okay.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jason. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, that passes. Resolution 2024-18. Okay, agenda item number 7, consideration and possible action on the police chief Zerflu attending new chief sheriff training in Madison from 1/27/24 to 1/31/24.
Must be 25.
Pardon me?
25.
Yeah. But the agenda is.
Oh, my agenda's wrong, I'm sorry. You went last January, I guess. Sorry.
Oh, this is...
It's right on here,
okay.
but not on the agenda, sorry.
Okay,
Should be cheaper.
all right. I was like, okay, so I thought maybe we were taking care of old business. Okay, thank you for that clarification. January 27th, 2025 to January 31st, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll
Do I have a second? Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Jason. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
What? She said those opposed.
Oh, I thought you said Bill was opposed. Okay,
No.
sorry.
No,
Okay.
the motion passes. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, consideration and possible action on new sign for municipal building. I apologize, I haven't been asking for a public comment on the previous motions, but I'm asking for any public comment on this now.
Can I make another comment? Is that okay?
On this agenda
Yeah,
item?
yeah.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Again, you know I'm Jan. It's ridiculous to look out there and see a sign laying on the ground. The deterioration of that sign reflects what this town looks like. I can't believe we waited this long. I don't know why we have. I'm sorry I haven't been here to understand the process that it must take to go through to get a new sign, but heavens, it should be done. It's my opinion, I don't care what it costs. I think we are reflecting what goes on in this building in a very negative manner by going through the roundabout and seeing that we really don't care about what we look like on the outside.
Bill?
I'm on that committee. I did get a quote on a sign from a person that has signing in the town of Grand Rapids, lives in the town of Grand Rapids. It wasn't accepted by this board at all. And somebody from, I believe, Wausau came down here and they're looking at a different sign. And that sign that's out there, we got paid to move it, and if that's all the further we could move it, we ought to give them back their money. I think it's ridiculous too. However, to put up a lighted sign is very much of a distraction in the roundabout. And, you know, that's different. Where do you put a lighted sign where people can, oh, they got a meeting coming or whatever it is. So you're going to have that kind of permission too, so. We haven't met to take bids or anything, and on a sign, so.
May I ask why not?
I'm not the chairperson of the committee.
May I comment?
Yeah.
So going back to the comment about when you brought a quote forward 2 years ago, whatever that was one quote. Board members have always wanted more than one quote, so there was no reason for that they're going to just take the first quote. And you in the history too, you want 2 quotes, so to say that they weren't okay with 1 quote, that's because it's a very expensive project. So we need 2 quotes. If we didn't have 2, somebody would beller about it. So that's just about that. Now, as far as this, public buildings, Amber had a remote session a few weeks ago. She met with them. They were here. They did a presentation to her through Zoom or something. She did forward me 6 different quotes. I did talk to her about a public buildings meeting, and she said she contacted you about having one before the meeting tonight, and you said that no need, just bring it to the town board to discuss.
I have another meeting, so I have a library meeting.
So, I mean, she did try to
Yeah.
have one, so I'm just clarifying that. So
But
you do have,
My quote was for the county to give us money. That's what that was. Nick, I think, filled out the request to have the county when they was giving out money, and they denied it, so nothing else has been done on it.
right, that grant was denied, yes, through the county.
So is that grant opportunity null and void going
I
forward?
believe so, pretty much. Amber said it was
Yes.
very, yeah.
But I went over to see the guy that gives the quotes, and he says, yeah, he says, I'd love to give you a quote.
Jason, I see you would like to comment?
Yes, we're gonna move on from that 2-year-old quote or whatever the discussion was about it. Being part of that committee, Bill, this was an approved budget item for 2024. It's October 17th, 16th? That's not acceptable in my eyes. And you are part of that committee, so let's make things happen. I can guarantee you if I was on that committee, there'd be a sign erected already.
Well, would you like me to
Moving
get off?
forward with that, we also we need other quotes. How do we know that there isn't a $22,000 sign out there? There's already been a location discussed about that. It's farther down, away from the roundabout. We need a sign, point blank, period.
I think we're all in agreement that we do need a sign. When I was reviewing, there are like 6 quotes that were here. I see the difference between them. As an example, the quotes that were given were, of course, non-lit and lit. That was one of the major differences between them. The size, and also the red, green, blue matrix on that. I'm not quite sure the difference between a 13.33 millimeter versus a 10.0 millimeter. I'm not privy to that information, but.
Resolution, like clarity of the
Right,
of
but
the
is
sign.
the resolution better for certain speeds if it's a 10 versus a 13? Which would be better resolution
Yeah,
for the
that-
speed
that
that's
I
run
don't know
there?
either. I think that would be up to her. Some explanation from a
Mhm.
contractor to explain that to us.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
We're gonna be meeting several times in the next month with budget. I'm wondering, can we table this
would-
item and have maybe
yes.
Buildings and Grounds have a meeting? I agree this is important and it would be nice to get done. I don't know if it can even
Right.
get done yet in '24 with where the weather is right now and constructing a sign, but I would be more comfortable if we tabled this for now. Public Buildings, meets, or the board meets in conjunction with them as a whole, and we get additional quotes and go from there. So my motion is to table this
Okay.
item.
Do I have a second of that motion?
I'll second.
Can I say something?
No, because we've just, sorry about that. All those in favor of the motion of tabling this till the next town board meeting, which could be a budget meeting that's coming up, so it's not gonna be like another 30 days. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion passes. Yes.
Just in the meantime, because I do know when that last quote was brought forward a couple years ago, that was a one-sided sign and there was nobody had discussed measurements or anything. So if you want, being part of the committee, if you want to try in the meantime to get another quote with comparable measurements to what this is, and obviously electronic, two-sided, and see if you can get something comparable to bring so we have two, we can compare apples to apples.
I'll give Amber a call, tell her to go out and get some quotes.
Okay. Agenda item number 9, September disbursement vouchers. Is there any questions? Okay. Agenda item number 10, operator license application. Go ahead.
You do have a revised one. So the one in your packets, you do still need the information behind it, but you have a revised list. So just use
Oh, here it is.
do you have it? Okay.
Yep, I do. Okay, the operator's license for 1 year was Sarah Bills for Bud's Corner Mark, Emma Carpenter, The Store, Crystal Gagas at Bud's Corner Mark, and Carrie Nelson at Jammers. And then also there was one denial, Christopher Humphrey, The Store. Is there a motion? And to make sure that we indicate in that motion about the denial, please.
I'll approve the 4 one-year licenses and then also acknowledge the denied party.
Okay.
Is that good?
I'll second
Yes.
that motion.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Jason. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, agenda item number 11. We'll start out with the monthly reports from the committees. And the first one would be Public Works.
We did not meet.
Okay. Airport Commission, being we're working with you.
Airport Commission met on October 9th. I was not present at that meeting, but I will highlight from the minutes that were produced from Jeremy, our manager. Master plan projects are as follows. The contract is signed by the bureaus and the appropriate people for this master plan that we've been talking about for years, it seems. Aerial and ground surveys have either been completed or scheduled. Those are basically noting structure, obstructions, fence lines, stuff like that, square footages of buildings, hangars, etc. The commission needs to decide how to go forward with obstruction removal, and I'll touch on that a little bit later in my notes. The obstruction removal are some trees that are around the airport that are too tall for certain aircraft. Record fuel sales, again, fuel sales are up 17% in 2024. Some gate repair quotes were approved. A motion is made for American Fence to proceed. A hangar access policy was tabled, and also a audiovisual system for the terminal was also tabled. 2025 budget requests have been submitted and approved by the commission. Back on that, obstruction removal is just shy of $55,000 to have these trees removed, and the commission agreed to pay forward that amount with anticipation that a grant will cover those removals. Discussion needs to take place regarding a stakeholder committee for the master plan projects, and what that entails is they'd like to put a committee together of say set officials or interested parties with interest in airport operations and so on. That will be decided on November 7th, which would be the next meeting at 8 a.m. And future agenda items were just hangar lease agreements, the AV system for the terminal, and tree planting along First Street.
Okay.
I just have a question, Mary. So you don't utilize your alternate when you're not there?
There was a conflict in the schedule, and I apologize to the commission. And I apologize to the board.
If you do you have a copy of that budget for us by chance from the airport? From Jim?
I will get it.
Okay, if you do, can you get it? Because I
Definitely.
haven't seen it yet, so.
A good thought. Okay, recycling, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I was just.
okay, recycling and solid waste, we did not meet, but I am planning on meeting in the next month for sure. Also with the Plan Commission, we met on September 9th, or excuse me, we just met this past Monday. And on the agenda, we had 2 chicken permits, 2 dog permits, and then we had an approval of a corner lot setback variation along with a building a carport. So that was what we had. Our next meeting is November the 11th. And public buildings, Amber usually reports on that, but Bill, I suppose you and Amber are going to be meeting again soon?
Yes. I hope so.
Okay. Legislative, anything, Nick?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Public safety, anything
Did not
there?
meet.
Okay. Economic development,
We did not meet.
personnel,
We were supposed to meet, but it got canceled, so.
yeah, rescheduled. WTA meeting, Bill?
Yes, the WTA meeting was held September 20th at the town of Lincoln Town Hall. They had no scheduled speaker. So Donna Rosar, a representative from the 69th Assembly District, she spoke about attending a challenging academy at Fort McCoy for troubled youth. And it's what they do is they actually take and kind of put them in Fort McCoy. They're kind of in there, and the training is remarkable, how they train some of these youths. and she's thinking of trying it in the county to a different committee, so. Steve Dickinson, our District 2 supervisor, he was there and said that there's Wisconsin TAC committee that we belong to is going to have some meetings. And for ARIP, the applications are still being worked on, and of course he noted that different municipalities, towns that have gotten it. So, the next meeting will be tomorrow night, and it'll be at the town of Marshfield. So that's Thursday, October 17th.
Thank you. Okay. Reports from the individual town members. Jeff?
Only thing I have is I just want to thank Jan, thank all the election workers, poll workers that decided to help out this November 5th. Thank them when you come. It's a tough job. I've done it before, and I appreciate everyone that does that. So thank you very much.
Jason?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. I just wanted to make a comment around, we had the Army Corps of Engineers were here just this past Tuesday, and Sarah from Emergency Government, she coordinated a gathering for the Army Corps of Engineers to come here and have a tour of our town so that they could figure out the different areas of our town that have difficulties with high water or flooding issues. We had shown them the Army Corps of Engineers. We showed them Highway W, the county property there where all the soil from Lake Wazeecha when they drained, or what's the? Dredged, thank you. Dredged Lake Wazeecha and where they had put that. We went on 80th, that's on 80th Street. We visited Edgewood Acres, 56th Street and Auburn, the 48th Street Creek, which we actually took them through 48th, 64th, 48th, 32nd to show them where the different levels of the creek as we toured them through the town. We also showed them where 1 mile crosses Washington Street and where it joins on 32nd Street, where the 1 mile dumps into the 32nd Street, or the 2 mile creek. So it was noted by, let me see, I think it was Peter, who was an Army Corps of Engineer. He said that that study that they're working for our town is fully funded, which was a good thing. It was funded by the Floodplain Management, better known as the FPMS. And so what it is a strategy. They don't actually implement any of the changes. What they do, it's a strategy to try to design different stages that the state or towns can take in order to alleviate some of the flooding or issues that may arise. It also will, the study will also help understand the hydrology of this area. And so what they're going to do too is they are going to implement monitors, water or groundwater monitors. And I think they said they had up to 14 of them. Is that right, Mike? Did they say 18? That they'd like to put around our town. And of course that is all monitored through, it's not monitored by in person, it's all through electronics and whatever else. I'm not privy to that, but so they will put these monitors on public land or private land. So if you know somebody who would be interested in putting that on their property, they can notify myself or give your name to the gals in the office, and then we can coordinate that and forward that on to the emergency government. That was one of the things. I thought it was quite interesting too that they, some of the things that they feel assist with high level is changing of land uses, like eliminating forestry, changing the type of ground, or, backfilling different areas. Lakes, of course, when they start filling in, dams on lakes, dams on rivers, they'll coordinate that in their study to help understand why the area of ground level is increasing or lowering. And then one of the things that I thought was quite interesting, they do these studies throughout Wisconsin. And I think right now they're doing one in Juneau County.
Mhm.
But they have found through all of their research that there's 20% more rain since in the last 100 years. So I don't know what the 20% number is of, but that to me is quite substantial, 20%. But they've noticed that all in Wisconsin. So that is the report that I am giving on the Army Corps of Engineers meeting with, or gathering of the town, or tour of the town.
They're also in Juneau County, but in Wood County, they're only in the town of Grand Rapids and the town of Saratoga.
That's right, yeah, correct, thank you for that. Bill, do you have any other
No.
report?
Good report.
Thank you. Okay, so any future agenda items?
The one that was tabled.
Yes, the tabled one.
I have it.
You have one, Bill?
Yeah. No, what it was at the highway committee meeting, in which there was people there that went through a grant, they're going to be really increasing Southwood County Park. And I was wondering if you wanted somebody from the parks here to explain all that. It's going to be happening next year, and it's quite an endeavor. Mike was there and heard it.
And what are they doing, increasing?
The number of campgrounds
Oh.
and things like
Oh.
that. And
That might be
in a
interesting.
different- so if you wanted, I can see if somebody could come and just give us details on it, or maybe you want it at a Public Works Committee. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, is there any further comments? Okay. All right, so the Grand Rapids Town Board will move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility for the purpose of discussing recommendation from the Personnel Committee for interim police chief stipend for several time served during the police chief vacancy.
Make a motion to move into closed session.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Bill?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Patty? Aye. We are in closed session. Thank you.